satisfaction is guaranteed 24 hours a day, whether it's music or information.
From Grand Cayman to Cayman Brac to Little Cayman, we've got you covered.
You ever hear a thing like that?
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
For the Record is brought to you by Fidelity Bank. For all your banking and pension needs, call or visit a Fidelity branch today. Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. And Cayman Pharmacy Group, with locations in West Base and professional pharmacy at CTMH Doctors Hospital. The Cayman Pharmacy Group has a location for you just around the corner. And Seaboard Marine. With over 35 shipping ports, find your shipping solution by calling Seaboard Marine at 949-4977.
Coming to you live from Radio Cayman Studio.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you. For the record. Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is your talk show.
1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett Connor.
Good morning, and welcome to For the Record. Today is Monday, the first day of October 2018. For those of you who promised in January, there are certain things that I need to do that I'm going to do in 2018. You don't have a whole lot of time left to get it done. We're in the month of October. 2 more months to go and the year is over as well. I trust that everyone had an enjoyable weekend, whatever you did. That it worked out well for you and that you're raring to go. For those of you whose work week actually begins on Monday, there are many people whose work week begins on Sunday instead of Monday as well. But whomever you are, wherever you are, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman and by extension For the Record into your homes, into your vehicles, as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands into your places of work, whether it be an office cubicle or if you're working in the outdoors. Of course, you know For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I'm your host, Orrett Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 9:30 a.m. Our phone lines are always open. There is always someone there waiting to take your calls. Normally, that beautiful radio voice of Miss Susan Watson. You can call us on our toll-free number provided courtesy of Flo. That toll-free number is 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037 and 949-6990. Of course, if you don't like to talk on the telephone, you can email us at For the Record. That is one word, For the Record, at CANDW.KY. We also have a WhatsApp number. That WhatsApp number is 925-3261. We encourage you to leave us a text message or send us a voice note. The contents of either will be played during the course of the show as well. And, of course, you can follow us on YouTube simply by subscribing to Radio Cayman live stream. Today being Monday, it's the day that we have reserved for the government to be on For the Record, and it is my pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning Ms. Jennifer Ahearn, who is the Chief Officer in the Ministry of Health, Environment and Culture. We will also have during the course of the show the Minister with constitutional responsibility for health, environment, and culture, the Honorable Dwayne Seymour. He will be joining us during the course of the show as well. We're going to be talking specifically today about the healthcare conference. It's come around again in October. A well-subscribed event here in the Cayman Islands, and it's one of those. What old people used to tell us, you're getting too big for your britches, right? For your britches. Well, it seems as if the healthcare conference is getting that way, Miss Jennifer. Good morning. Welcome to For the Record. It's great to have you back on the show again.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for having us on OC. I'm really happy to be here talking about the healthcare conference. And yes, I think, as you said, we found this year that we have grown too big for our britches in a way, because I'm sorry to say that I found out late last week that the conference is now fully subscribed. So normally I would be here plugging everybody to make sure that they come out and register. But as I said late last week, I was told that everybody's already done that. And we are not having any on-site registration this year, unfortunately. Wow. But I'm still here to share with everybody a little bit about the conference. And if you haven't managed to get registered, don't despair, because there will be an opportunity after the conference to get some of the information as well.
Great. Okay, let's start with the dates that the conference is scheduled, the date and venue.
Okay, so we're kicking off Thursday, October the 18th at 5 o'clock. That's our opening session. We have a keynote speaker lined up, and then there's also a cocktail reception after that. And then we go all day Friday on the 19th, and then the morning of Saturday, October 20th. And the conference is once again being held at the Ritz-Carlton. And thanks to our amazing sponsors, we're once again able to offer it free of charge for those people who have been proactive and have gotten registered. There's no registration fee. So we're really excited. We're looking forward to it. This year's theme is Managing Your Health, the Empowered Patient. So we're really looking at, empowering patients and how patients can take steps to empower themselves in terms of managing their health, and also looking for the healthcare providers at how they can empower their patients. We really see that there's an opportunity to have two-way interaction and a two-way responsibility that will hopefully improve everybody's health outcomes, keep everybody healthy longer, keep everybody's quality of life at its maximum and optimal level longer. And we think it's really important that we identify those opportunities and have some discussions around them. It's, when you think about, the old days where you would go to the doctor and you would just take the information and the doctor would, it was a one-way discussion, more or less.
Yes.
What we want to make sure everybody sees as the opportunity for is having a two-way discussion and recognizing that, and we've talked about it in the past years with other conference themes, our personal and individual responsibility for our health and for our family's health. And also looking at how our healthcare providers can help us be more engaged and more empowered as to how we can achieve that and how we can, make things better for ourselves by having that relationship and that two-way dialogue. And taking advantage of some of the tools. I mean, if you think about the advances that we've had in technology, and some of it good and some of it maybe not as good. Yes. But identifying, what the best tools are and what sort of things we should be thinking about and looking at. And talking...
A common person, but more... the person who's not familiar with that type of a dialogue. It is so extremely important. I was talking to a friend last week, and he had his father who was in the hospital, and unfortunately there was a healthcare provider there who was basically talking over his head, trying to explain something, and he was saying to them, "Can you bring it down a notch?" For me, so that I can understand. I find that in talking to my healthcare provider, and most recently I had surgery on my eye, and my doctor explained everything that was being done, that he was going to do, explain what he wanted me to do afterwards in terms of follow up my responsibilities, my part of the bargain that I had to keep and everything. And what that also helped me to do, to be able to explain it to family and to friends exactly what took place. And then those persons who found themselves in similar situation to mine may not have this sort of fear or apprehension about having a procedure done if you're able to explain it to them at their level.
Yeah, absolutely. And, kudos to your friend who said to the doctor, wait a minute, can you help me understand that better? Because yes. I think a lot of times patients, we'll tend to kind of think, I should probably be understanding this. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I don't understand this because I'm not bright enough, or I don't get it. And I'll listen and hope I can figure it out when I go away. What we want to encourage people to do is exactly what your friend did, is say, wait a minute, I don't think I'm understanding this. Can you clarify this for me? And, I guess, they talk about there's no stupid questions, right? And especially when it comes to your health, you should feel empowered to be able to say, I need more information, or I don't quite understand that, or, tell me again, because sometimes, particularly if you're having a procedure done, if you're obviously worried, there's always risks associated with it. And sometimes you need to hear something, more than once.
Yes.
Your doctor may have explained it perfectly well, but you shouldn't be afraid to go back and say, I just need you to clarify that for me again. And then your experience with your doctor, with your surgery, and talking about what the expectations were for you to do. And that's a really key piece, and I think that's something that we need to encourage even more of, because it is really important. We as patients, we can't expect that once we've had a procedure or a treatment, that's it, it's done. Like, we need to take responsibility for the follow-through on our part. But we also, in order to do that, we need to have the information and understand it in order to be able to act on it.
Yes. We're a few minutes away from a commercial break. What I'd like for you to do for me, Ms. Jennifer, is let's take a look back in terms of where we were in our first conference that was held, and where we are now, and where we're looking, to go to be in 2, 3, 5 years' time, where we want to be with this. Like you said, we've already outgrown ourselves, in this. But when it comes to disseminating information to people, making people aware, it is something that you have to continue to do constantly do it as well. And how here in the Cayman Islands we will be able to continue with that. Where we've come from as far as healthcare in the Cayman Islands, and where we're about to go. What I was thinking last night, for instance, is do we know, for instance, with so many more services being offered on island, how much we have saved from a financial standpoint, as opposed to having to travel overseas to do many of the procedures that need to be done. Not to say that we still don't have to do that in some instances, but where we've come. So lots of things that we can look at, because there's only so much we can talk about the healthcare conference. We can't encourage people to get registered, because you can't get registered again. So folks, we have lots to talk about healthcare, and I would run the risk of saying we wouldn't want to limit it just to the conference. If there is something that you want to discuss about healthcare, some questions that you may have as well, we want to encourage you. This is your opportunity to expand your curiosity and to get answers to those curious questions that you may have as well. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, sponsored by Cayman National Bank. Visit Cayman National Bank today for all of your financial needs. The Cayman Islands, he hath founded it upon the seas.
Nesta Alexandria Ebanks, 1901 through 1997. Miss Nesta, or Aunt Nettie as her relatives and neighbors called her, was involved in the religious and social life of her community from an early age. She had many talents. She wrote debates and composed poems, one of which was set to music and is still sung in church. She held high office in various organizations. She visited the sick and shut-in. When there were no satin-lined caskets available, she used the traditional methods of pinking the sheet, making beautiful coverings for the coffins, designed with just scissors. She taught classes of mathematics and English to neighbors and friends when there were few schools. Although she never married, she single-handedly raised one of her grandnieces whose mother died in childbirth. She was also a nurse and invented various medicines.
Radio Cayman's Historical Facts vignettes are proudly brought to you by Cayman National, with branches on all 3 Cayman Islands. Visit Cayman National Bank today for all of your financial needs.
I need a bank that is convenient for me.
What do you mean?
I need a bank that has easy-to-find locations and plenty ATMs when I need cash on the go.
Oh, well, that's easy. You need to bank with Cayman National. They have 7 customer service centers and 23 ATM locations. The newest one is at the East End Post Office, and I hear there's more to come.
Well, sounds like I need to bank with Cayman National Bank, the convenient bank, because they seem to be everywhere.
Yeah, that's true. Cayman National is everywhere. Surely they are Cayman's convenient bank.
Cayman National Bank. We're here for you.
The Cayman Pharmacy Group provides you with more than just prescriptions. We strive to make your health our concern. We recognize the complexities of pharmaceuticals and the need to personalize your care. That is why we offer personalized one-on-one counseling. Our pharmacists are here to assist you with questions you may have about your health and the medications you've been prescribed. With West Bay Pharmacy and CTMH Doctors Hospital Pharmacy, the Cayman Pharmacy Group has a location for you just around the corner. We care about your health.
Did you hear that Vamped Motors has your sale going on now? And you get your choice on the money you'll save on your new car or truck?
My sale? My choice? Really?
Yeah! And they have lots of cars on sale. Some up to $7,000 off.
Sounds pretty good.
It gets even better. You can choose to take the full discount, or you can get some or all of it as cash back.
Extra cash back would be great.
Exactly. And you can even use the savings to extend your warranty or service plan so you'll drive worry-free for years longer.
Another good idea.
If you want to upgrade with something like a new roof rack or backup camera, you can choose that too.
Wow, I get to choose?
Yeah, that's why it's your sale, your choice. Going on now at Vamped Motors on Walkers Road, while stocks last.
At Seaboard Marine, customers often ask us questions about their shipments.
Can you explain what a less than container load is for shipment and what your minimum charge is?
Sure. A less than container load, or LCL, is any overseas shipment that does not require the full space of a container. At Seaboard, we have great rates for small packages. Just let us know the dimensions of your package and we'll help you out from there.
Shipping shore to shore, Seaboard.
Sometimes things just don't go as planned. That's why you need Contractors All Risk Insurance from Fidelity Insurance Brokers. Ensure you're covered in the event of property damage and third-party injury or damage claims during your construction projects. And with Fidelity Insurance Brokers, you can be sure you are getting competitive pricing and superior customer service. Call us today for a free quote. Fidelity, we're good for you.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record, with your host, Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. It is my pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning Ms. Jennifer Ahearn, who is the Chief Officer in the Ministry of Health, Environment, Culture and Housing. And we're talking about the healthcare conference that has taken place from Thursday, the 18th of October, through Saturday, the 20th of October of this year. The venue is at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel. Registration is closed because it is already fully booked. And we want to give some details about the conference itself, Ms. Jennifer.
Thanks, yes. So yeah, everybody who has registered already, well done. Good job getting on the list, because we are fully subscribed. If you have registered and your plans have changed and you might not be able to make it, if you could let us know that so that we can offer your space to somebody else, yes. That would be really great. Because the conference is free of charge, quite often we have situations where people will sign up and plan to go, but if something comes up, they don't make it. So if you have registered and you know that you're not going to be able to make one of the days, whether it's Thursday evening, Friday all day, or Saturday, please let us know so that we can offer your space to someone else, because we are getting calls and emails, as you might imagine, from people who have gone on the website to register and have gotten the message saying, I'm sorry, but we're already oversubscribed. So the website, actually, I'll give everyone that address. It's www.healthcareconference.ky. So you can go on the website. You'll see some information about the conference. As we were speaking before the break, the theme this year is Managing Your Health, the Empowered Patient. Mm-hmm. And like every other year, if you go on the website, you'll see all of the presentations from past year's conferences have been uploaded to the website. So this year, again, if you're looking at, if you're interested in the subject but unfortunately haven't been able to get registered, after the conference, you'll be able to check on our website and see the presentations there. You can also check our Facebook page. You can like our Facebook page for updates, which is Cayman Healthcare Conference. And then we have Twitter as well, which is @Cayman_health. So you'll be able to be part of that conversation as well.
Yep, so basically all of the social media platforms, huh?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, so it's shaping up to be a fantastic conference. We've got a great lineup of local and international speakers who are coming along. We've got different topics that we're going to talk about. We're going to have a panel discussion around the empowered patient. We'll have a presentation to help you better decide when to go or not to go to the emergency room. I know that's always a bit of a struggle. And talk about some of the advances in digital technology. You know, we were saying earlier that there's been so many things coming online. There's a question of, is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? Is it helpful? Is it hurtful? You know, and some of the other things around, you know, Dr. Google, I'm sure will come up in that conversation as well. So lots of exciting things that we're going to cover. And like every other year, this is our 9th year, our 9th conference. We're hoping to sort of facilitate some discussions, to spark some discussions. And, you know, I always say I want everyone to walk away with at least one thing that they're going to do as a result of something they've learned at that conference.
How do you compare the first conference with, say, the last one?
Wow.
One?
Yeah, so the first conference, our theme, we called it Healthcare 2020.
Okay.
You know, like 2020 vision. Mm-hmm. And I think we had, it was under 500 delegates. I want to say it was about 250 or 350. Okay. Which actually, for the first time running the conference, we were very pleased with that. We had some very good speakers, some great interaction. You know, moving forward to last year's conference where we had over 1,000 delegates over the course of the conference. And it's really just grown year on year. And we've had some fantastic feedback. Every year after the conference, we do a survey, and we get great feedback from the delegates who have attended and from the speakers as well. And based on the feedback, you know, we look at that and we identify some improvements. And we also use that to look at what the theme might be for the following year's conference. So the feedback is really important. And it's also, you know, it's also fed into the information and the discussions are fed into some of the work that we do at the ministry as well. You know, some examples would be the Healthcare Decisions Bill that we just finished the public consultation on. Yesterday was the last day, but I'm sure if you email your comments today, we'll still look at them. You know, the Healthcare Decisions Bill, talking about end-of-life care and advanced directives, that came out of discussions that we had at the conference in 2015. A few years ago, there was a recommendation from a task force after the conference to look at the cancer registry and the legislation for that, and we worked on that. You know, for me personally, we did the conference on workplace wellness, and after that, I went to the Deputy Governor and said, you know, we do the walk-run club on Mondays after, and I just remembered I forgot to bring my kit to go tonight. But you know,
you'd have to make a special trip back home for that.
The Walk Run Club came out of it, as well as the Deputy Governor's 5K.
Okay, yes, which is a huge success.
Which, you know, we really proud of, and so I think, you know, that's one of the real benefits of the conference, is it sort of creates those discussions, and it's, you know, as I said, I do issue the challenge to everybody: when you leave here, I want you to think of the one thing that that you've learned that you're going to apply to your life. So last year, the conference theme was food for thought. And, you know, so for example, my family, we've been trying to make sure we have at least one plant-based meal every week, as a result of that. And so that's one of the things I look forward to every year with the conference as well is, getting to catch up with some of the delegates in the breaks and hearing about some of the things that they've done as a result of the things that they learned at the previous conference. There's one couple, a retired couple, who have been to every single one of our conferences. And last year, on one of the breaks, I had a quick chat with them, and they said, we wouldn't miss this. And I hope they got registered. I hope they're on the list.
You may have to make them honorary guests and find a spot for them if they haven't been registered.
Yeah. But, they said they find that they learn so much every year when they come to the conference, and then they go away and talk to their family about it as well, which is fantastic because that's really what we want to see happening. And, the conference, besides the speakers, which are really informative and interesting, we've also got all of our exhibitors who come along, and they all have some great products and great information. You also have the opportunity every year at the conference to get your flu shot. So, flu season is upon us, so it's an opportunity to, since you're already there, you might as well get it. And we have health check station as well, give people an opportunity to sort of check their numbers too.
Okay. I'm going to diverge a little bit, I should say, Ms. Jennifer, just to mention the fact, and you did mention the cancer registry and the legislation here in the Cayman Islands. And before the show, I did mention to you that the British Virgin Islands are establishing a cancer registry. I don't think that we have gotten that far yet, and hopefully, public sentiment will change somewhat in that regard.
We do have a registry established.
Yes, but
we've had a registry for a number of years, but it is voluntary.
Yes.
And so one of the difficulties with that situation is that we rely on the patients to report to the registry. The registry is completely anonymous, so the data is I can't say the word anonymized. It's anonymous and it's confidential.
Yes.
So your information goes in, and it's put into the registry, and the registrar is the only person who has access to that data. The difficulty, of course, with it, and I want to, a number of patients have taken advantage of it and have registered. And I want to encourage everyone who's listening, if you or a friend or a loved one has had cancer or has been diagnosed with cancer, and you haven't registered with the cancer registry, to please do so. Because it's important for us. You anecdotally hear these stories that, we have a really high cancer rate, or we have a really high rate of a particular cancer, but we don't actually know for sure because we haven't got the data and the level of confidence in the data. So the registry that we have now, it's fantastic that we have it. We are getting some information with it, but unfortunately, because it's voluntary, we can't say sort of hand on heart that this is a true picture. So, but yeah, I think that it's a great tool to have. And is BVI making it mandatory? Is that what they're doing?
I believe so. I'll double check that to see. One of our listeners has reminded us that today is the start of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and this individual says, as I celebrate my third year as a survivor, I give thanks to God for His grace and mercy, and to my friends for all their continued support as well. So we want to remind people that it is Breast Cancer Month. Also, very quickly, before we go to the news, one of our listeners has said we have over 200 women on island who have breast surgery and would welcome having a locum doctor perform on island instead of having to fly up and down to Miami every 2 or 3 months completing this procedure. So it's something for us to talk about when we return from our 8 o'clock news. Folks, please stay tuned for the record, where we have as our guest, Ms. Jennifer Ahearn, and we're hoping to have Minister Dwayne Seymour join us during the course of the show as well. Please stay tuned. Don't change that dial. Lots of important things to talk about. Your health, empowering you as a patient as well. Please stay tuned.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. And studio time now by Price Right is 8 o'clock.
Price Right is Grand Cayman's warehouse shopping superstore, making your dollar go further with huge savings and no membership fees. Get more of the things you use every day at the right price. But it's not just grocery and health and beauty. Price Right has a full range of products from office to automotive, patio furnishings to kitchen appliances, and even electronics. And since warehouse prices mean savings for you, everything is priced right at Price Right, Grand Cayman's warehouse shopping superstore. Access information. Your community. News and information. Radio Cayman is your choice, your voice for today's biggest news. Radio Cayman.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. Robbery, assault, arson. Police are called to a number of incidents over the weekend. It started around 10 p.m. on Friday night when officers learned of an attempted robbery at a liquor store on Hearst Road in Boddentown where two masked men approached the front door, tried to force their way in, but weren't successful, so then took off on foot. A few hours later, around 2 a.m., 911 sent officers to a report of an armed robbery just outside Everglow Bar in Boddentown, a purse snatching. Saturday night, a 54-year-old woman was arrested in Cayman Brac on suspicion of arson after a bed was set on fire at a home on Frigate Drive. Finally, overnight Sunday, around 2 a.m., officers were sent to an altercation in the Cotton Club parking lot on Shedden Road. Upon arrival, they found a man bleeding from a wound on his side. As officers tried to clear the scene, police say a woman began behaving in an aggressive manner and eventually, quote, struck one of the officers. The 30-year-old was arrested for assaulting police and remains in custody as investigations continue. The man was treated at the hospital. The Cayman Heart Fund celebrated survivors of cardiac events at a special luncheon Friday at the Marriott.
I believe the recognition of one's shortcomings, to strive each daily to do better and to make a change makes one a survivor.
Several hundred people attended the event, which focused on fitness at any age. The 2018 Heart Heroes included both children and adults, including MLA Bernie Bush, who spoke about his own life-changing experience.
I'm enjoying the new lifestyle, walking 3-4 miles every day, eating properly, something that I've never done before. So it's nice. So I can honestly say that this is the best thing that ever happened to me because it has put me in a better spot spiritually, mentally, physically, the full work. So I'm saying thank God it happened. Thank God I found out in time because with 7 blockages, if I'd had the heart attack, I don't think there was any coming back.
A special award was given to Sean and Eileen Evans, whose baby Nolan succumbed to his own heart condition. The couple has been working to raise funds for the Cayman Heart Fund in their son's name. In other news,
Miss World Cayman Islands is contestant number 3.
Kelsey Woodman-Bodden of Georgetown wins the coveted title of Miss World Cayman 2018. She emerged victorious against 3 other finalists as determined by judges' scores in the beauty pageant held at the Harkwell Theater on Saturday. Speaking to Radio Cayman after her win, Miss Woodman-Bodden says she's excited and grateful.
Getting crowns is definitely a dream come true. I've been a pageant girl since before I could really talk, and to finally be and get to walk to the My Caymanian Girls song is a dream come true.
The 25-year-old will represent the Cayman Islands at the Miss World pageant in China on December 8th. Along with the crown and title, Miss Woodman-Bodden bags a 4-year scholarship courtesy of the Cayman Islands government, among several other prizes. Letitia Foster, Zarina McCoon, and Roseanne Miles finished first, second, and third runner-up, respectively. And a new exhibition opens at the National Gallery. Big Art Auction 5 exhibition features artwork by celebrated local artists in Cayman and in support of the NGCI's permanent collection development and related education programs. Now in its 5th year, the artwork will be featured for 4 weeks, Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. until 5 before they're auctioned off at the entertaining Sotheby's-styled evening reception. For more information, head to nationalgallery.org.ky. And now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, who will take us out of the newscast. I'm Carsley Fuller from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
BBC News with David Austin. Indonesia's disaster response agency has told the BBC that none of the country's tsunami detector buoys were working before Friday's quake and tsunami struck. It said the system's 21 floating detection units had been damaged by vandals or stolen. This year's Nobel Prize for Medicine has been awarded to James Allison of the United States and Tasuku Honjo of Japan. It's for their research on how to fight cancer using the body's immune system. Meanwhile, a court in Sweden has given a 2-year jail sentence to a French photographer found guilty of rape. Jean-Claude Arnault is married to one of the people that chose the Nobel Prize for Literature. The scandal caused the prize to be cancelled this year. One of France's most popular singers, Charles Aznavour, has died. He was 94. Aznavour was born in Paris to Armenian immigrants and was acting at the age of 11. But in 1941 he teamed up with another actor to write songs. He was the lyricist and composed themes for several leading singers of the time, including Edith Piaf. BBC News.
Access to information. What's happening in your community? News and information, music and more. You can find us. www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Radio Cayman is your choice, your voice for today's biggest news. Radio Cayman.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you.
This September at Kirk Home Center, save on Pratt & Lambert Pro Hide Gold interior flat latex paint, 5 gallons for $99.99, and touch-up details with a 3-pack Pro Max paintbrush set for $10.99. Enjoy homemade dinners on a 30-piece white porcelain dinnerware set from Gibson for $31.09. Organize, store away, and declutter with storage totes starting at $12.79.
Kirk's Home Center, you got a great deal in store for you.
The 2018 Fall Labor Force Survey is currently being conducted by the Economics and Statistics Office ESO. The LFS collects data on the employed and unemployed persons. Trained interviewers with ESO ID cards will visit the randomly selected households in all districts. The interviews are confidential in accordance with the statistics law. No individual data will be published or disclosed. Survey data are exempt from freedom of information. For more details, please call the ESO hotline at 516-3329.
In financial news, world shares were mostly higher today after the U.S. and Canada said they had agreed to a revised trade pact. Keeping score, Germany's DAX rose 0.7% to 12,327, and the CAC 40 in France advanced 0.3% to 5,507. Britain's FTSE 100 gained 0.1% to 7,518. The contract for the S&P 500 jumped 0.6% to 2,937, and the future contract for the Dow picked up 0.8% to 26,678. Looking at Asia's day, Japan's benchmark Nikkei 225 gained 0.5% to 24,245. Australia's S&P ASX 200 lost 0.6% to 6,172. South Korea's Kospi gave up 0.2% to 2,338. Shares were mixed in Southeast Asia. Markets in Hong Kong and the Chinese mainland were closed for national holidays. In energy, benchmark U.S. crude picked up 25 cents to $73.50. It rose 1.6% to $73.25 per barrel in New York on Friday. Brent crude used to price international oils added 51 cents to $83.24 per barrel in London. Looking at currencies, the dollar rose to 114.01 yen from 113.69 on Friday. The euro strengthened to 1.1617 from 1.1605.
The Tuesday and Thursday edition of The Business Buzz is brought to you by Cayman Medical Supplies, providing quality pharmaceuticals, medical supplies, and consumer products to healthcare providers, retailers, and ultimately the patients at a reasonable rate in a friendly, caring, and timely manner. Cayman Medical Supplies is located at number 93 Smith Road, Windward Center. Telephone 949-6211.
Your weather update after 8 is brought to you by Brand Source Home Gallery, creating elegant bathrooms with European-style fixtures and fittings.
Brand Source Home Gallery has been appointed the exclusive Cayman supplier for Duravit bathroom products. Duravit is the leading international manufacturer of bathroom ceramics, tubs, and showers, recognized around the world for beautiful, functional products. Winner of top industry awards, Duravit collaborates with leading European designers to provide the most elegant and innovative bath products. If you're ready to bring style, comfort, and innovation to your bathroom, visit Brand Source Home Gallery to see the new Duravit showroom and meet the in-house house bath designer. Whether you're planning a functional family bathroom or a personal spa retreat, browse the Duravit collection and be inspired. Brand Source Home Gallery, delivering a new standard in custom designed bathrooms. Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
Pleasant good morning. Time now for the latest weather report. Current temperature is 84 degrees. Relative humidity is 89%. Barometric pressure 29.91 inches and rising. The wind is east-northeast at 10 knots. Overnight low temperature was 81 degrees. Synoptics indicate isolated showers along with light to moderate winds and slight to moderate seas expected in association with an upper-level trough over the northwest Caribbean. Further east, the remnants of Tropical Depression Kirk is expected to move into the northwest Caribbean by this evening. Radar images show scattered showers over the Cayman area moving towards the west-southwest. Now the forecast for the Cayman Islands for today, calling for partly cloudy skies with cloudy spells and a 40% chance of showers and thunder, and temperatures will rise to the low 90s. Your winds will be east to northeast 10 to 15 knots with higher gusts, and seas will be moderate with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet. Tonight, partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of late night showers and possible thunder, and temperatures falling to the upper 70s tonight. Your winds will be east to northeast 10 to 15 knots, and seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. Low tide occurred early this morning, and a high tide will be this afternoon at 3:29. Low tide tonight at a minute after 10. The sun will set this evening at 6:12 and will rise tomorrow morning at 6:17. And the outlook is calling for similar weather conditions through Wednesday morning as the upper level trough lingers over the Cayman area.
Weather update after 8 is brought to you by Brand Source Home Gallery, creating elegant bathrooms with European-style fixtures and fittings.
Some extra patience needed this morning as traffic is busy coming from the east on Shamrock Road, also on the Linford Pearson Highway. And traffic steady on Huldah Avenue and as well as on Thomas Russell Avenue. On Dorset Road, coming from the Butterfield roundabout, heading towards the Industrial Park area. Traffic moving along moderately in both directions. In and out of Georgetown on Shedden Road, things are not looking too bad. It's traffic flowing pretty good. Light traffic on Old Roberts Drive. And on the West Bay Road, steady but flowing traffic heading to Georgetown. And from Georgetown on the West Bay Road, in front of the Reds, traffic heading towards the West Bay is moving along moderately. And steady but flowing traffic on Edward Street in front of the Georgetown Post Office from the West Bay four-way stop. Light to moderate traffic flow. Cool Road, busy traffic, and some sections, other sections steady. Remember to share the road Cayman Islands and join us again at about 10 minutes after 12 as we update you what's happening on your roads. Buckle up. Have a good morning.
Rotary Central Music Extravaganza is back. Be a winner this November with your Rotary Central Music Extravaganza ticket purchase of only $25. Win that grand prize of $40,000 CI dollars. Second prize $4,000. 6 $1,000 prizes and much more. Yes, the 23rd Annual Music Extravaganza, Saturday, November 24th, Royal Palms, West Bay Road from 7 p.m. Featuring music by Dr. Bob's Experiment, Fire Squad, and Altered Minds. Only 8,000 golden tickets now on sale through Rotary Central members and Rotary ticket sellers. Rotary Central Music Extravaganza proceeds fund over 50 community inspiration projects. You can be a winner. Your ticket. Your chance. Your community. Rotary Central Music Extravaganza is back.
In local sports, the Brenda Tibbetts Lund 5K Walk Run Northside is Saturday at Kaibo starting at 6 a.m. Come out to support the Lions Club of Tropical Gardens as they raise breast cancer awareness in the Cayman Islands. The Northside 5K is October 6th, but the 7-mile Public Beach one will be on October 14th. That includes a 5K and 10K version. The cost is $25 for adults and $10 for kids between the ages of 8 and 12. If they're under the age of 8, they can go for free. Funds raised this year will pay for mammogram screening and provide assistance to breast cancer patients. You can register online at caymanactive.com/registrations. Then, subject to availability, you can collect your T-shirts and gift bags from the Lions Club of Tropical Gardens Pink Shop in Elizabethan Square. The Pink Shop will be open Monday through Friday, October 8th through the 26th from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. Runners will be officially timed to give participants their individual times for completing the course. Walkers won't be timed. Age group winners in the run will receive first, second, and third place trophies. The route for this weekend's North Side event starts at Caibo Beach, goes up to the Cable and Wireless Exchange, and then back to Caibo. And in international sports, Peru captain Paulo Guerrero has lost another legal challenge in his bid to play again despite a 14-month doping ban. The Swiss Federal Tribunal says a judge dismissed Guerrero's request to provisionally lift the suspension and allow him to play for the Brazilian Club Internacional. Guerrero tested positive for a metabolite of cocaine at a World Cup qualifying match against Argentina in October 2017.
Initiating system.
For information that matters, For the Record with Orrett Connor continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me this morning, the Chief Officer in the Ministry of Health, Environment, Culture and Housing, Ms. Jennifer Ahearn, and we're discussing the healthcare conference that is being held here in the Cayman Islands. Actually, this is the 9th annual conference. It will be held between the 18th of October, Thursday the 18th of October, and Saturday the 20th of October. The theme of the conference is Managing Your Health, the Empowered Patient. And we all have health issues to a certain extent. No one has been blessed with having perfect health, and if you do, at some point in time, that is likely to change. So we all have challenges. We've heard Ms. Ahearn talk about the fact that registration is already closed because it is already full. Expectations in terms of having over 1,000 delegates for the 3-day period as well. And we want to talk more now about some of the topics that will be discussed. We want to also talk about how you manage your health and a description of the empowered patient as well. Ms. Jennifer.
Okay. Yes, that's a lot to cover. But yeah, so we are going to be focusing on the empowered patient and how we manage our health and how our healthcare providers can help us to manage our health. When you talk about an empowered patient, you're talking about a patient who is armed with information. It's about making sure that they get the right information at the right time, delivered in the right way so that they're able to understand it and act on it. You know, you mentioned earlier in the show about your friend whose father was in the hospital, who asked the doctor, please, I need you to go back and say that again in a way that I can understand
Yes.
it. And that's the kind of thing that we want to encourage. And it's a two-way, obviously communication's always a two-way street. But it's about the healthcare providers themselves recognizing the need. And in some cases, you would say the patient's right to have the information delivered to them in a way that the patient and their families can understand and can act on. And also for the patient themselves to have the self-conviction and the confidence and demand that information be delivered to them.
Yes.
And to also have the courage to ask the questions. You know, we were talking earlier about sometimes it may just be that, you know, your healthcare provider is delivering the information to you. You're not understanding 85% of it, but you're thinking to yourself, oh, I probably should understand what they're saying, so I'll just smile and nod, and then I'll go away later and ask my friends or check Dr. Google and see if I can make sense of it.
Yes.
What we want people to understand and what an empowered patient will do is at that moment say, actually, doctor or nurse or pharmacist, whoever, you know, the provider is, I don't really understand what you've just said to me. I want to understand a bit more about what it is that we're talking about. So that's one of the sort of principles of the empowered patient is that information. There's also the, following on with the information, the health literacy and the digital literacy. So it's one thing when somebody says, oh, you must know your numbers. And you might know your numbers. You might be able to rattle off what your blood pressure is and what your resting heart rate is and what your blood glucose levels and cholesterol levels are.
Or even your blood type. Some people
or
don't
even
even
your
know
blood
their
type.
type. Yeah.
Exactly. But do you also know what that means? Do you know what those numbers mean? Some people don't know their numbers at all. Some people know their numbers but aren't really sure what that means and what they should or shouldn't be doing about it. So that's sort of your health literacy, and then your digital literacy as well. Everybody's got their computer in their palm of their hands with their smartphones now. Are you able, when you go on to check something, if you Google a symptom, like that's the worst thing I think probably. Do you have the savvy? Do you have enough information to be able to differentiate between fact and fiction and sort of evidence-based information versus pure speculation and conjecture? But there was an article that I read a month or two ago where a university student in grad school was so shocked with how many people were sort of picking up on these YouTube videos of, cures for cancer that have been hidden by the big pharma companies for years and years. And the only reason we don't know is because the big pharma companies are hiding it so they can make more money. And so this student, they put together a video of their own, and they used the template of all of these other sort of sham videos that they had seen. They've got the dramatic music, they've got the beautiful pictures, they've got the pictures of serious-looking men who are scientists and all these other things. And the video was brilliant because it started off talking about, Dr. Fred who'd made this discovery and it's been hidden. And then at the end of the video it says, there is no Dr. Fred and there is no this and this is, you need to be more careful about what you read and what you see and what you believe. So that's one of the things that, an empowered patient has that ability to look for the information, but also to be able to assess and value and probably go to their healthcare provider and say, I found this. And I was wondering is this something you were aware of and, would this work? Is it something for me as well? And that's the other thing with an empowered patient as well. Another principle is a self-efficacy. Which is the belief in your ability to affect changes and outcomes and achieve your personal health goals, and the sense of having control over your personal health. So, obviously, if you don't believe that you have the ability to affect those changes, then you're not going to be an empowered patient. And your level of self-efficacy and your level of personal empowerment is going to change as your circumstances change. But an empowered patient will believe that they have a role to play, that they have the opportunity to make those changes to affect their personal health outcome goals. And we talked earlier too, and about the communication. You gave the example of your recent procedure where your doctor was very good about explaining to you, this is what the procedure is going to be, this is what you are going to need to do as the patient in order to affect the best outcome, and here's what, how we're looking forward to go, and you had that discussion and you had that communication. And it's so important for an empowered patient that the physician or the clinician recognizes their role in empowering that patient and having respect for their patient as an equal. The earlier example, sometimes, and certainly, and this is something that we see is evolving and changing over time. 20 years ago, if your physician came to you and said, OC, here's what I'm seeing with your conditions, here's some of the options that we have, here's some of the risks and benefits. What do you think? 20 years ago, you would have been like, what the heck? You're the doctor. You're supposed to tell me. You tell me. You know what it is. Yeah. We've come, with the empowered patient now. The physician has that conversation with you, and then you, as the empowered patient, say, well, doc, actually, I'm really worried about having a surgery. Is it really necessary? What are my other options? Can you explain that to me again? So that's sort of what we're hoping to facilitate and to encourage people to move towards, is that sort of mutual respect and the shared decision-making as well. And obviously, it's about creating the environment for that empowerment to happen. It's that all of the stakeholders, the patients, their families, the healthcare providers, recognize that there are real benefits to having this approach. I have a quote that I found that said, "Patients making informed decisions is the best way and the ultimate way to reduce waste, reduce pain, and reduce regrets in healthcare." So, it's a situation where you've got the information delivered the right way at the right time. You've made an informed decision in consultation, in discussion with your healthcare provider. And so you're going into the surgery, the procedure, even the medication that you're taking. So one example, one of the big concerns is antimicrobial resistance with antibiotics. We're seeing increasingly, because antibiotics have been used so broadly around the globe, we're seeing increasing resistance and a reducing number of antibiotics that are still effective. So if you have, a flu and you go to the doctor, and again, this is an evolving and changing situation. It used to be you had a fever, you had a bit of a stuffy nose, a cough, you went to the doctor. The expectation was he would give you an antibiotic and send you on your way, even if it was a virus where the antibiotic would not have any impact. So now the conversations are going to be around, as an empowered patient, do I want to expose myself unnecessarily to antibiotics if it means that down the road, if, for example, I'm in the hospital and I get a staph infection, I've developed some resistance because I've had antibiotics so much over time. So it's really about, again, the right information at the right time, delivered the right way, and consultation and decision-making to say, well, you've got a temperature, you've got a cough, I think it's a virus. What do you think about leaving it for a couple of days? If you're still not feeling great, come back and we'll see if we need to give you some antibiotics, as opposed to, here's the prescription, go fill it next door, and you may or may not have needed them.
Right. Well, and what I noticed also, the patient consent form as well, where if you agree to a particular procedure or whatever, that you're now required to sign, at least at the government hospital, you sign that patient consent form that you agree. And you also have the option before the event takes place to change your mind if you want to, so you're not pressured into doing things.
No, absolutely. I mean, consent is a huge piece, and it has to be informed consent. And that's, again, where the healthcare providers have a responsibility to make sure that they've explained it to you and that they believe that you have understood it. But as the patient, it's your responsibility when that information is given to you, if you haven't quite understood it, or if you have any questions that you don't feel have been answered, to make sure that you ask for that clarification or you ask those questions. It's difficult because I think sometimes people feel that, I don't want to take up any more of the doctor's time. The doctor's really busy. And it might be that the doctor's got another appointment that they need to hurry up and get to. But I think it's really key to make sure as the patient that you have that confidence to self-advocate in a situation if you do have those questions, and your level of, you mentioned earlier, all of us ultimately at some point in our lives will have some illness that we need to contend with and manage, whether it's a chronic non-communicable disease that we need to manage, or it's a catastrophic event like a heart attack or a stroke or, a diagnosis of cancer. But it's important as well, as part of the empowered patient, to get the information and to have the relationship with your healthcare provider when you're healthy, to make sure that you're taking necessary steps to maintain that good health. So if you have, for example, a history of diabetes in your family and you don't have the symptoms of it yet, having that relationship with your healthcare team to make sure that you're taking the preventative measures that you need to take, a healthy diet and monitoring your blood sugar and periodically, and knowing that there are those risk factors there because of your hereditary linkages, and taking the steps to stay as well as you can for as long as you can. That's part of it too.
Okay. Folks, I want to remind you that you're listening to For the Record, that in the studio with me this morning is the Chief Officer in the Ministry of Health, Environment, Culture and Housing, Ms. Jennifer Ahearn. We're talking about the healthcare conference taking place here in the Cayman Islands from the 18th of October to the 20th of October at the Ritz-Carlton. It is already fully subscribed to, so registration has been closed. When we return, we're going to be talking about some of the topics that will be discussed on the days of the conference: patient engagement portal, empowered patient panel discussion, when to go or not to go to the emergency room, and advances in digital technology. This one about when to go or not to go to the emergency room. I heard an intriguing conversation once about someone going to the outpatient area and having to wait so long and say to someone else, to another person, I'll show you how I get quick service. I'll go to accident and emergencies and register there. So how do we get around things like that? How do we prevent people from actually abusing or misusing the system that was really intended to provide optimal health care to everyone? Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Did you hear that Vamped Motors has your sale going on now? And you get your choice on the money you'll save on your new car or truck?
My sale? My choice? Really?
Yeah! And they have lots of cars on sale. Some up to $7,000 off.
Sounds pretty good.
It gets even better. You can choose to take the full discount, or you can get some or all of it as cash back.
Extra cash back would be great.
Exactly! And you can even use the savings to extend your warranty or service plan so you'll drive worry-free for years longer.
Another good idea.
If you want to upgrade with something like a new roof rack or backup camera, you can choose that too.
Wow, I get to choose?
Yeah, that's why it's your sale, your choice. Going on now at Vamped Motors on Walkers Road, while stocks last.
Oh, my acid reflux is killing me.
Why don't you get something from the grocery store?
I need something better than any generic quick fix.
You should go to West Bay Pharmacy and have a brief consultation with the pharmacist. I went in last week and within minutes I was back in the car and on the road. And you know what? No more acid reflux.
How long did it take you?
Minutes. Here, give them a call at 945-0777.
West Bay Pharmacy is just around the corner with everything you need in the hours you need it. Visit us today for fast, efficient, and professional service. We are here as a team to assist you while taking care of your health. Call us today or visit our website at caymanpharmacy.com.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
On a daily basis, making it easy to connect with you, our listeners. Add us to WhatsApp today, 925-3261. That's 925-3261.
Radio Cayman.
Send a text or voice note.
Can I send a request, please?
You don't really have to ask us. Just send a request.
This is a shout out to my ex.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the record, with your host, Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me this morning, Chief Officer Ms. Jennifer Ahearn. She's the Chief Officer in the Ministry of Health, Environment, Culture and Housing. We're talking about the 9th annual conference, the theme, healthcare conference, the theme of which is managing your health, the empowered patient. The conference will be covering a wide range of topics such as the day-to-day management of non-communicable disease, understanding when health symptoms signify a trip to the emergency room, as well as developments in technology and its impact on health care in the Cayman Islands. Of course, the conference is free, and it was open to the public, no longer open because registration is closed because it's already been fully subscribed to. But there are ways for you to get information from this conference if you're unable to attend. And before we get back into the details of the conference itself, Ms. Jennifer, tell our listening and viewing audience how they can still continue to participate on the periphery of the conference as well.
Okay. So, unfortunately, as you said, we are fully booked. After I mentioned earlier in the show that we do a survey of all the delegates and that we use that information to make improvements and to look at themes for future conferences. And one of the things that we saw coming out more and more, particularly after last year's conference, which was a record-breaking conference in terms of the number of delegates, were comments that it was just getting a little too crowded. We needed to restrict the numbers a little bit more. And so that's why we've had to put a firm cap on this year for the registration, just to make sure that everybody has an enjoyable experience at the conference and doesn't feel like they're sort of jostling for coffee and cookies at the breaks. But having said that, if you have already registered and your plans have changed, please do let us know so that we can offer your space up to somebody else. And if you haven't been able to get on the list and attend, you don't need to despair that you'll miss everything, because after the conference, we'll be able to access all the presentations on our webpage, which is healthcareconference.ky. So you'll be able to go on there and see the presentations. And if you did get to the conference and you got to see them, you'll be able to see them again if you think you missed some key information. But you can also, while the conference is going on, if you are on Facebook, you can like our Facebook page, which is Cayman Healthcare Conference. And there's also a Twitter feed, which is at Cayman_health. Where you'll be able to sort of join the conversation there as well. We're really grateful to the awesome team at GIS who come out and help by videoing the conference every year so that we are able to make sure that as many people as possible are able to access the information after the conference is over. And on our website, healthcareconference.ky, you'll also find the speakers from past year's conferences as well. So there's archives on there. You can go on and check it out. And see what you missed in past years, or revisit some of the information that you learned when you were there in the years before.
Okay. We haven't spoken about the sponsors yet, and we usually leave sponsors to the last and say thanks to these persons. But I think it's extremely important that we talk about sponsors now, because I think the list of sponsors will give you an indication of those persons or those entities that are involved in healthcare in the Cayman Islands. It's not just limited to doctors and to nurses, the practicing professionals, but other areas as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And if it wasn't for our amazing sponsors, we wouldn't be able to offer the conference free of charge. So we're extremely grateful to them for their continued support. We have... For the first time this year, we've got a Premium Plus sponsor who's on board, and that's Ironshore Pharmaceuticals. We're really grateful to have them on board. They've come on board and supporting us in a really big way this year, so happy to have them. Our premium sponsors include our ministry, the Health Services Authority, Pinnacle Media, and Tower Marketing. We have a number of other exhibitors and sponsors as well who have sponsored things like the Wi-Fi and breakfast. And we also have a number of exhibitors we mentioned earlier who will be there throughout the conference, not promoting some of the services they have to offer. They always have some really fun giveaways too. That's something that people sort of enjoy, going from booth to booth and seeing what they've got on offer. And then we'll have the flu shot station as well. Flu season is upon us, so just to remind everybody that that's coming up, and you'll have an opportunity to get the flu shot while you're there. And also the health check station too, which is really a great opportunity to have a quick check to see how you're doing on your numbers, or to find out what your numbers are for the first time. So big thanks to Ironshore Pharmaceuticals as our Premium Plus sponsor, the Health Services Authority, Pinnacle Media, and Tower Marketing, because without their support and the support of all our other exhibitors and sponsors, we wouldn't be able to offer this free of charge. As you can imagine, with over 1,000 delegates, it's a pretty big conference. And we really need that sponsorship support to make it happen. So we're really grateful for their continued support.
Can we briefly talk about health insurance in the Cayman Islands, where we're at with it, the extent of the health insurers, their involvement in this, as well?
Okay, well, I'm going to have to pull up my detailed list of sponsors, but we do have some of the insurers who have come on board as sponsors and who have a presence at the conference every year. Mm-hmm. And we have 8 approved insurers now in the Cayman Islands, and that's regulated by the Health Insurance Commission under the Department of Health Regulatory Services. Mm-hmm. If you have questions about health insurance, I think health insurance is one of those things. Somebody characterized it once as it's so important to have it, but I don't understand it. And it is a very complicated thing, particularly if you've come from, I grew up in Canada where we had, universal health care that was funded through personal income taxes. Yes. So the notion of having health insurance for care other than we had it for prescriptions, vision, and dental. So we did have some supplement. We had insurance for that. But the notion and how insurance works and deductibles and copays, it can be very confusing. And again, this is where the empowered patient comes in as well. It's important to understand what your plan of benefits are and understand what you have the ability to use your insurance for and what you can't, and what your obligations are as an insured patient when you go to a healthcare provider and pull out your insurance card. One of the things, for example, we have the standard health insurance contract, or the SHIC, which is the minimum mandatory level of benefits that everyone is required to have. So under the health insurance legislation, everyone resident in the Cayman Islands, regardless of age, regardless of work status, everyone who is resident is required to have health insurance to the level of the SHIC, or the standard health insurance contract. Within the SHIC, this is the plan of benefits that is believed to be good enough for most of the people's needs most of the time. So it's not a plan that's going to necessarily cover you 100% if you have a chronic non-communicable disease, or if you have a catastrophic illness. It might not cover all of those costs. The balance that has to be struck, obviously, is that the more benefits you put in a plan, the higher the cost is going to be. So you want to try and have a plan of benefits that will meet most people's needs and is as affordable as it could be. So we changed the SHIC in 2013 to increase the outpatient benefits and also to add a wellness benefit. And embedded in that plan of benefits is the ability to get your annual checkups, to have some dental care, to have quite a few other things that weren't in the plan previously. And one thing I think we're finding is that people who were on the old SHIC and are on the new SHIC might not actually. We probably need to do more to make sure people understand how many benefits they do have and encourage them to utilize them, particularly the wellness benefit. And we were talking about, we may be fortunate to have good health as we're sitting here today, but if we're not taking care and taking preventative care and getting our wellness checkups and monitoring our numbers, knowing what that means and how we can either maintain them if they're where they need to be or bring them to where they need to be. Right. So the health insurance plan and the SHIC is embedded in everybody's plan. So even if you have the supplementary plans, the extra benefits, that SHIC is the foundation of it. Okay. So everybody who has insurance will have this wellness benefit embedded in their plan, and that opportunity to use it. So, and then again, talking about the empowered patient, you go to your healthcare provider, you hand them the insurance card, and they say to you, "Well, that would be $400," and you think, "What just happened? I've got health insurance, and how did this happen?" And I had it happen, just this year. I went for one of my annual checks, and then I got, they said, "Oh, you need to pay X dollars," and I was like, "Well, hold on, let's, how is that the case that I need to?" How did you arrive at this figure? And it was a funny thing, because I think in the moment they were a bit like, why is this person asking us for this? Just pay the bill. Let's go. But to their credit, they did take the time and explain it to me. But if I hadn't had the familiarity with health insurance that I do as a benefit of my job, as a result of my job, I might have just paid the bill and walked away and thought, what the heck? What's that? So again, as an empowered patient, asking the question, having enough information to know that you should ask the question, go to your health insurance provider's website and look at your plan of benefits for the plan that you have. Understand if there's a copay. Understand if there's deductibles. And if you can't quite wrap your head around what those mean and what they look like, ask the question.
Okay. Where are we with patient advocacy, especially at our government-owned facilities as opposed to private practices? Where are we?
In terms of, are we providing it?
Yes,
or,
yes.
I think that, certainly in the government-owned facility, the Health Services Authority has been pushing very hard to focus on patient-centered care. Mm-hmm. And they've been taking steps over the past several years to make sure that they're really focusing on the patient as the center of the work that they do and really what drives them to improve and to do better. And I think, they've improved their efforts significantly. They've got a lot more patient surveys that they do, patient questionnaires. They make sure that when they get feedback from the patients that they have the team act on it. They'll have a debrief with the team if they get a compliment or a complaint. And I think that they've really worked hard to open up the opportunities for that two-way communication to happen, both positively and negatively. So if you've got a compliment, if you've been to the district clinic and you've had a fantastic experience, everything went absolutely wonderfully, drop them a line, let them know what worked. On the flip side, if you went and you found that, you got there, nobody greeted you, or your appointment was 2 hours after it was supposed to be, those are the sorts of feedback they need as well, because they're constantly looking to improve and refine what they're doing, and I think they've been working very hard to really focus on that patient-centered care. And
I think in many areas we have seen the fruits of their effort in terms of the improvements, as well. The approach that they take towards patients, people in general at the Health Services Authority, we've seen some marked improvements there, really.
Yeah. And they've also got their patient portal now. I don't know if everybody's signed on to that yet, but it's a portal that gives you the opportunity to log on, to see your appointments, to manage your appointments, and I think it's a really powerful tool. So if you do go to the HSA and you haven't signed up for it yet, please do go to their website, and there's a link there to sign up for the HSA's patient portal. You'll also have the opportunity at the healthcare conference as well to sign up for the patient portal too. And they've had some fantastic feedback from patients who have started using the portal. It's a great tool to sort of be able to navigate and control your care.
Okay, folks, we're going to take a commercial break. When we return, the conversation will continue with Ms. Jennifer Ahearn, Chief Officer in the Ministry of Health, Environment, Culture and Housing. We're talking about the healthcare conference here in the Cayman Islands, taking place from the 18th through the 20th of October. But we're also discussing other aspects of healthcare in the Cayman Islands as well. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
At Seaboard Marine, customers often ask us questions about their shipments.
Hi, I'm thinking of buying a car from the States. Which port do you ship out of?
Hi, we ship out of Miami, Houston, and Brooklyn. Just let us know your port of choice and we can provide you with a quotation and answer any questions you may have on insuring and protecting your vehicle during its journey.
Shipping shore to shore,
Not all insurance is created equal, but who has the time to shop around? Take the guesswork out of your insurance coverage with Fidelity Insurance Brokers. Let us match you with the best coverage to suit your needs at a price to suit your wallet. Plus, get superior customer service from dedicated claims professionals to ensure speedy claims processing. Get your insurance through Fidelity Insurance Brokers. Call us today at 949-7822 for a free quote. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Did you hear that Vamt Motors has your sale going on now? And you get your choice on the money you'll save on your new car or truck?
My sale? My choice? Really?
Yeah! And they have lots of cars on sale. Some up to $7,000 off.
Sounds pretty good.
It gets even better. You can choose to take the full discount, or you can get some or all of it as cash back.
Extra cash back would be great.
Exactly. And you can even use the savings to extend your warranty or service plan so you'll drive worry-free for years longer.
Another good idea idea.
If you want to upgrade with something like a new roof rack or backup camera, you can choose that too.
Wow, I get to choose?
Yeah, that's why it's your sale, your choice. Going on now at Vamt Motors on Walkers Road while stocks last.
Initiating system.
For information that matter, For the Record with Orrett Connor continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning, and welcome back to For the Record. I am sorry for that little delay there, but I was trying to get something clarified. In the studio, we have Chief Officer in the Ministry of Health, Environment, Culture, and Housing, Ms. Jennifer Ahearn. We're talking about the health conference taking place in the Cayman Islands at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel from the 18th through the 20th of October. The theme of this year's conference is Managing Your Health, the Empowered Patient. And we're having a very informed discussion here with Ms. Ahearn. One of our listeners has written in and said, good morning to all of you at For the Record. I think that healthcare coverage should also be based on other lifestyle factors and not just smoking. If healthcare costs go up with smokers, it should go up with people who don't exercise and eat poorly, because it's just as bad as smoking. According to my research, more and more people are ending up in life-threatening health conditions who don't smoke or drink but eat poorly and do not exercise. This should be looked into in regards to health care costs. But do we look at it that way? Do we actually look and assign more costs or more liability to persons who have more risky lifestyle habits, for instance, smoking, drinking, whatever?
No, so the healthcare or the health insurance companies will look at the claims history of a group and use that claims history to determine what the premiums are. So if, which is one of the things that you talk about with workplace wellness, when we had the conference on workplace wellness,
yes.
We talked about for an employer, I think one of the figures at the time, every dollar you invest in a workplace wellness program will reap $3 in savings down the line. So if you're in a group insurance with your company and all of your employees are smoking and they're overweight and they're sedentary and they have very unhealthy diets, and they're all diabetic, pre-diabetic, hypertension, pre-hypertension, all of those things, your premiums are going to be creeping up because of the claims. Mm-hmm. Now, that's if you're out. So the premium that's regulated by the Health Insurance Commission is the premium for the standard health insurance contract.
Okay.
And there is the ability within the legislation, the health insurance law, for an insurer, depending on your risk factors, to apply to increase your premium above that standard rate. Mm-hmm. And that's where you have a high risk or uninsurable person based on their health. So there is that ability, and the insurers do look at it. But within a group insurance situation on a supplementary plan, the claims is what drives the cost of the premium. Mm-hmm. Some insurance companies have focused on incentivizing their insured people to embrace wellness, to take steps to prevent those things. They'll do things like they'll give a discount on premiums, or they'll offer programs like a smoking cessation program, or they might offer a wellness program where they'll come to your office and do a lunch and learn to really look at driving healthy behaviors as well. So there are some health insurance companies that are doing those sorts of things. But, again, and it goes back to the personal responsibility that we all have, that we've been talking about earlier, for managing our health and for taking steps to either improve our health outcome, or if you are fortunate enough to have good health, to take steps to preserve it.
Yes. Okay, I think you have your list of sponsors as well that we want to go over, Ms. Jennifer.
Thank you. Yes, I've found the full list now.
Okay.
So it's Ironshore Pharmaceuticals and Development. We mentioned them earlier. The Health Services Authority, Tower Marketing, the Ministry of Health, and that's my ministry, Pinnacle Media. We also have some other sponsors. We have Jackson Memorial Hospital. We have U Health International. We have BAF Insurance, Cineco, Holy Cross Hospital, Pan American Life Insurance Company of the Cayman Islands, the Wellness Center, Health City Cayman Islands, Cayman Hearing Center, Marsh, Baptist Health, Aetna, Generali Worldwide, Cleveland Clinic, Florida, the Chrissy Tomlinson Memorial Hospital Doctors Hospital, Atheros Aviation Group, or Cayman Medevac Limited, Memorial Healthcare System, Cayman Hospice Care, Cerner, Black Tower Financial Management, Infinite Mind Care, and 7 Seas Progressive Distributors. So those are all of our sponsors and exhibitors.
Heck of a long list.
Yeah, and the question earlier was about the involvement of the insurance companies, and so you will have heard I've rattled off a number of the approved insurers who have come on board to help support the conference, and we're very grateful to all of our sponsors and exhibitors for their continued support. We have some who've been with us since the very beginning of the conference, and we have new ones that come on board every year. There are still opportunities, I should say, for people to come on board either as a sponsor or an exhibitor. And if you're sitting there listening and thinking, boy, it would be great to be part of this, you can email Grace Carroll at tower.com. That's Grace, Grace, at tower.com.ky to find out about opportunities for sponsorship and to come on board as an exhibitor. We've got 1,000 delegates, just over 1,000 delegates who will be coming over the 3 days of the conference. So as an exhibitor, that's a lot of opportunity to promote your goods and your products to a target audience. So you can contact Grace Carroll, Grace at tower.com.ky if you want to find out how you can come on board as a sponsor or exhibitor. And, that's another way to make sure you get to come to the conference, too, if you haven't registered yet, because the sponsors and exhibitors get to come along.
Exactly. And the portion in relation to the health check stations, that's mainly for the participants there. If people are curious, they want to go and they want to have a check, and the flu shots and stuff like that. So it's not a situation where I can come off the street and let me pop in at the Ritz-Carlton and get my flu shot.
No. No, but the HSA does offer the flu shots free of charge through public health, and I'm sure that they'll be coming along to promote the flu shot clinics once they have them. But no, it is the exhibitors and the flu shot and the health check station are for the delegates who are at the conference.
Yeah. Does the HSA still do the shots at the government administration building and places like that as well?
Yeah, they usually do that as well.
Found that to be extremely useful as well, because sometimes people just, for some reason, can't find the time, won't find the time to go. Yeah. But if you bring it to them.
The team at Public Health have been really good in the past about, if there's an employer who has a significant number of people who want to get the flu shot, if you reach out to them, they'll come and do clinics for you. But I don't want to steal their thunder, because I'm sure they're going to be coming out when they're ready to kick off.
Excellent. Okay, we're going to go to our headline news at 9 o'clock. When we return, we're going to make a phone call. We still have another 2 minutes before we go there. So I want to prep my listeners and viewers to another situation. We did mention that Breast Cancer Awareness Month starts today as well, and there will be the ribbon cutting launch at Camana Bay at 5:30 this afternoon. And while we don't want to take away from Ms. Jennifer's discussion here about the healthcare conference, they all go hand in hand because it's all addressing healthcare as well. And after we come back from headline news, we're going to have a conversation with Miss Debbie Ebanks, a breast cancer survivor. And she's intricately involved in Breast Cancer Awareness Month as well. And we're going to be placing a call to her, talking with her about Breast Cancer Month as well. So we want you all to stay tuned, listen to Miss Debbie. If you have any questions, any observations in relation to health, please get involved in the conversation. Call us, send us an email, send us a text message. You can use our WhatsApp number. That WhatsApp number that we have is 925-3261. You can leave a text message or a voice note, the contents of which will be played during the course of the show, and we've received several of those as well. We're going to have another half an hour to wrap up everything here. This is extremely, extremely important because many times we really do not appreciate the value of good health until we start to experience bad health. And sometimes, unfortunately, for some, that is a little bit too late. But you have an opportunity to be proactive. You have an opportunity to gain information about how do you maintain your health? How do you monitor your health? And if you then have to take corrective action, how do you go about doing that, working along with your healthcare provider? Because the responsibility is on both sides, not only the doctor's side, but the patient's side as well. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Radio Cayman. Radio Cayman's newsroom. Headline. These are the biggest stories right now.
The Central Caribbean Marine Institute welcomes Alexander Cousteau as the keynote speaker of the 20th Anniversary Festival of the Seas Awards and Gala. CCMI is also announcing the short list of finalists for awards that are being given as part of the organization's 20th celebrations. Log on to radiocayman.gov.ky for the full list of this year's nominees. Volunteers have begun burying victims of Indonesia's deadly earthquake and tsunami in a mass grave. Friday's disaster devastated areas of the eastern Sulawesi island and has left at least 844 people dead. Some remote areas have yet to be contacted, and there are fears that the death toll could rise further. And two scientists who discovered how to fight cancer using the body's immune system have won the 2018 Nobel Prize for Physiology and Medicine. The work by Professor James P. Allison from the U.S. and Professor Tasuku Honjo from Japan has led to treatments for advanced deadly skin cancer. Immune checkpoint therapy has revolutionized cancer treatment. Those are your headlines. I'm Carsley Fuller.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands. What's happening in your community? News and information, music and more. You can find us. www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Radio Cayman is your choice, your voice for today's biggest news. Radio Cayman.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. It is my pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning Ms. Jennifer Ahearn, who is the Chief Officer in the Ministry of Health, Environment, Culture and Housing. We're discussing the healthcare conference taking place here in the Cayman Islands. We're going to have Miss Debbie Ebanks on the phone talking about Breast Cancer Awareness Month as well, but I believe we have one caller in the meantime. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Lucy.
Good morning, ma'am. How are you?
I am very thankful and highly blessed. And good morning, Miss Ahearn. Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, Miss Ahearn.
Good morning, ma'am.
You may know this story a little bit, and you may forgot it because it's been a long time. But I have so much to say no concern about Pinnacle. I know that you're not for the insurance, but you mentioned that too in Pinnacle. So I'm going to leave my number with Susan for you, and you please give me a call as quickly as possible. So I need to make it known things I've been going through because of the Pinnacle.
Okay, yeah, if you can leave your number with Susan, that would be good. I'll get in touch.
Okay, caller, yes. Ms. Susan will take that number for you as well. I think I have another message here also. Let's find that one and see. as well. Says here, Miss Jennifer, I have a concern. A patient with full insurance, cynical coverage, had chemotherapy treatment for breast cancer. However, the chemo treatment we know will damage body cells along the treatment. Please advise when a person develops certain illnesses like eye problems and glaucoma, the insurance cynical will not pay for full treatment of lens when the treatment caused damage to the eyes. I don't know if you... apparently what they're saying here is that there was a knock-on effect of the treatment which created the damage, but cynical then doesn't cover the payment for lens.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty specific situation that there's a lot of different moving, a lot of levers that come into play with your health insurance and with claims, and the level of coverage that you have, and some of the gateways that you have in terms of accessing care. So one of the things that I hear quite a lot with Cynico insured people is they don't always have an understanding of the process for getting a referral outside of the Health Services Authority, and what's required to do that in order to have Cynico cover the cost of care. So even though you have full coverage with Cynico, you can't go to a provider outside of the HSA without an approved referral.
Right.
And quite often that's something that people aren't aware of, or they don't have an understanding of, and does cause some concerns. There is the ability through Cynico has a risk and appeals committee that will review. So if you did, for example, you went to a private provider, you feel that this should still be covered, you can apply to the risk and appeals committee at Cynico, and they will consider it on its merit to see. But the sort of things that they're looking at is that a service that you could have obtained through the Health Services Authority? Is it something that is deemed to be medically necessary? And a bunch of other factors that come into play. So the text that you read, not knowing sort of what the details are, it's very difficult to say, but I would offer that if they are Cynico insured, that they do have that ability to submit their claim to the Risk and Appeals Committee at Cynico to have them consider it. Okay, I trust that person is still listening, and so they basically contact Cynico. They will tell them about the procedure in terms of the appeals process, and we certainly would encourage that individual to pursue that point as well. We do have Miss Debbie Ebanks on the line. Good morning, Miss Debbie. Welcome to For the Record, and congratulations to you on your recovery process. And I know that the support that you've received from family members, friends as well, and certainly your strong religious belief has taken you a long way as well, Miss Debbie.
Good morning, Mr. O.C. Thank you for reaching out to me to be a part of your show this morning via telephone. And good morning, Miss Jennifer, and good morning, listening audience. Good morning, Ms. Yes, I am really grateful to the community and my family, my friends, and especially the Lions Club of Tropical Gardens and my Lions Club members through the Grand Cayman Club. As you know, the Lions Club of Tropical Gardens has a vibrant breast cancer program. It's into their 22nd year, and they do extremely a significant amount of work within the community in this aspect. And today has been the first day of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I just wanted to put a shout out to them and also to advise the public that they're having their opening ceremony this afternoon at Kamana Bay at 5 for 5:30 start. And there's various activities coming up. Some of them are fundraisers, some of them are information meetings, some of them are district clinics. So there's a calendar that is out and is being circulated. Hopefully it's usually posted in all the various churches. But our awareness meeting is at Northside this coming Thursday. That is the 4th of October. So we're encouraging all the Northsiders to come out and be a part of that. And, those that need a voucher to get a mammogram, they will be able to get it at the meetings. They need to attend the meetings to get the voucher. And those meetings are at 7:30. So that first one is this Thursday at 4 o'clock. This afternoon is the opening ceremony at Kamanabe. And then they have our first walk, which is in Northside, on the Saturday the 6th. So I'm hoping that people can come out and support all of these events because they are important and they do bring awareness. And, they said early detection saves lives, and I am living proof of that. And I thank God every day for His grace and His mercy. And I thank you all for allowing me this opportunity to help promote breast cancer awareness.
Ms. Debbie, before you go, what do we say to those people to remind them that when it comes to breast cancer, it is not just limited to the female gender?
No, that is correct. Yes, we did have our one person that was diagnosed. And actually, he lost his life, but I don't think it was to cancer. I think there's another one on island. So it is that we do have the male gender who can be prone to breast cancer as well. So everybody needs to go out there and get their checks as well, not just the female.
Ms. Deb, I want to thank you very much. I want to thank you so much for your bravery, because it is testimonials like yours and all of the other victims of breast cancer who help to keep the conversation alive, to make others aware of what is happening, and being out there on the forefront of everything. So many times we have a tendency to hide our illness, and that could be for many reasons, personal, as well as other reasons. But for those who choose to come forward and to let people know what's happening, to heighten that sense of awareness, we certainly appreciate you, and we're extremely proud of you for doing that.
Thank you, OC. And I just want to remind people that, yes, early detection can save your life, and most of these cancers are treatable and survivable to a certain extent, but it has to be caught in time. And so, you need to be aware, and everybody has a responsibility. I know I was listening to you all earlier, for your own health care. So you're the best person that knows your body, and if there's a change, don't hesitate to go and get it checked out, because that could be the survivable moment of your life.
Mm-hmm. Thank you again, Ms. Deb. You have a blessed day, and wish you all the best in your endeavors. I will encourage my riding group. We normally don't ride on Saturdays. Sometimes we do, but we will do a Saturday morning ride in Northside just to join people up there as well.
Oh, that would be amazing. I'll be looking up for you because I intend to do the Northside walk as well. So Hopefully I'll get to see you.
Excellent. Take care.
All right. Thank you all, and you all have a blessed day.
You too, dear.
You too.
Thanks.
Take care.
Ms. Jen, anything you want to add to there?
Well, I just want to say that, Miss Debbie is an amazing example of somebody who has had an incredibly positive attitude through an incredibly difficult time. Yes. She's an advocate for patient advocacy, for early intervention, prevention, and also just a big shout out to the Lions Club of Tropical Gardens, because they do a tremendous job every year, every October, with their Breast Cancer Awareness Month activities. Tonight is the ribbon cutting ceremony at Abacus. They're kicking off at 5:30. Miss Debbie said a 5 o'clock arrival for 5:30 start. But also they have the district information sessions, the mammogram vouchers that they give out, and the walks that they do as well. And it's just they do an incredible job at raising that awareness. And so big thanks to the Lions Club of Tropical Gardens for the work that they do in keeping that information out there and increasing that awareness.
Okay. Have another message here. It says, good morning. I would also like to add to the discussion that took place about Cineco. The person says I'm also an indigent patient on a Cineco insurance, and I've been having some serious headaches. Went to the doctor, and they instructed me that I needed to change my glasses, and I need to go on a yearly basis. Went to the optician, and I was told that I would have to pay $320 up front before they would even take my Cineco insurance. I need to know what are my options here.
Okay. Again, I can't speak to the details on that. We don't. But I would just encourage them to contact Cineco and to let them know that this is the situation they've had. Let Cineco know who the provider is. And it may be that Cineco just needs to communicate to the provider that this individual can get coverage. I know that there are some restrictions in terms of vision coverage, that they think it's lenses and frames every 2 years or once every 2 years. So if there is the case that this individual, this patient has had this referral saying that this is basically medically necessary for them, it may be that Cineco is able to let the optician or the vision provider know that they're going to cover it or not. But I would certainly encourage them to talk to Cineco about it, to find out exactly what the situation is.
Precisely. Very good advice. We're going to take our last commercial break for the morning. Ms. Susan, you may want to check the WhatsApp as well. We may have a voice note on there. Also, folks, please stay tuned for the record with our guest, Ms. Jennifer Ahearn. Will continue right after this short commercial break.
Excuse me, I noticed you from afar.
Really? Me?
Well, not you. The KFC sandwich you're eating?
Oh, Zinger.
Sorry, I'm not trying to be funny.
No, it's called the Zinger Sandwich. Crunchy, juicy, 100% chicken breast, crisp lettuce, sweet mayo on a seeded bun with a little zing. KFC's chicken is not factory breaded, frozen and refried like the Burger Boys. Customize your KFC Zinger and dip it in barbecue sauce.
Wow, now I'm starting to notice you too.
KFC, it's finger licking good.
At Seaboard Marine, customers often ask us questions about their shipments.
Can you explain what a less than container load is for shipment and what your minimum charge is?
Sure. A less than container load, or LCL, is any overseas shipment that does not require the full space of a container. At Seaboard, we have great rates for small packages. Just let us know the dimensions of your package and we'll help you out from there.
Shipping shore to shore.
Are you kidding me?
What's wrong?
I ran out of my meds and I have an interview in about an hour.
Why not call CTMH Doctors Hospital Pharmacy? They'll be able to help.
You think so?
Absolutely. Their pharmacists are brilliant for fast, efficient and professional service.
CTMH Doctors Hospital Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. We strive to make your health our concern. We recognize the complexities of pharmaceuticals and the need to personalize your care. That is why we offer personalized one-on-one counseling. Call us today or visit our website at caymanpharmacy.com.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor, continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome to For the Record. In the studio with me this morning, Ms. Jennifer Ahearn, Chief Officer in the Ministry of Health, Environment, Culture and Housing. We're talking about the healthcare conference taking place from the 18th through the 20th of October at the Ritz-Carlton. The topic of this year's conference, Managing Your Health, the Empowered Patient. But we're also getting questions and taking comments in relation to healthcare in general. You've also heard that Breast Cancer Awareness Week kicks off today as well, and that will be a month-long engagement in relation to breast cancer. We have one voice note. Let's go to that voice note. Ms. Susan?
Good morning. I have a question for Ms. Ahearn. I was just wondering if someone registered for the conference but they're not able to attend, if they can also just pass on that confirmation to someone else who has the time to attend.
Okay, very good question. Ms. Jennifer?
Okay, so I think the best thing to do is to let Tower know. Tower is handling the registration for us. let them know that you've registered for the session, that you're not able to attend, but that you'd like to pass your registration on to
someone to fill in for them.
Yes. Who will come. Because we do want everybody who can come to be able to come. And the difficulty, if you just sort of passed it over to somebody, like, for example, if I passed you mine, when you turned up, they wouldn't have a name tag that says Orrett Connor. You would, and you're certainly not Jennifer Ahearn. So just if you can reach out, Grace Carroll is probably the best person at Tower to contact. It's Grace, GRACE, at tower.com.ky, and just let her know. You can forward the registration receipt that you got from Eventbrite. Let her know that you're not going to be able to attend. If it's all of the conference or some of the sessions, let her know, and ask her to let her know who the person you'd like to offer your spot to is, and their email, so that they can swap that out.
And your advice to those who are unable to attend but would not want to designate or have someone else to designate to their spot to let the conference organizers know as well, because there are people who would want to take advantage of that opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, people's plans change. When you registered, you may have had your calendar free, and now something's come up. So even if it's for part of the day or one of the days, if you're not going to be able to make it, please let us know, because we do have people waiting for the opportunity to sign up and come along. Yeah. But if you haven't managed to get signed up, as we were saying earlier, you don't need to despair, because we will have the conference sessions available on the website after the conference, and that's healthcareconference.ky.
Ms. Jennifer, I would venture to say that in a person's life, especially part of their social life, the two